Everybody, Andrew here with Andrew Simple Images, and welcome to another episode of me behind the scenes, apparently, with photography, trying to show the behind the scenes of a photo. This will probably be the last one of those lengthy videos, just because everybody knows that driving, takes time, and then camping takes time, and living in your van for 2 or 3 days takes time, right? I mean, I don't think it's that interesting. So in the future, I'm going to try to make it faster to get to the destination and show maybe more of the actual scene, what's transpiring in that scene and what I'm actually trying to capture in the scene, what I find is interesting. So that's in this video. You'll see something like that. And I think I want to do that going forward to newer videos. But first, I want to quickly clarify a couple things in this video that you're going to see briefly. First and foremost, I get pretty anxious around crowds, people, things like that. I can talk sometimes well, but I've had friends of mine that say that I'm a good talker, but for some reason, I don't know if I think it's the trying to be a perfectionist in my mind. I'm never satisfied with myself and how I do things, and always trying to be quote unquote, whatever the definition of perfect is, which you'll never hit it, right? So anyway, I just put a lot of anxiety on myself. So early on, loading the van, there's some workers across the street, just want to try to do their job, right? They're not bothering me, they're not doing anything, but I have this perception that they're looking at me while I'm loading things up, and now my stress level goes up. So that's earlier on the scene in this video. And then once I get on the road and I turn the corner, I'm fine. I start to relax and I have a good time. But those are some things I need to work on. The second thing I want to tell you real quick is I talk a little bit about composition in this video. And while I don't do I'm not going to do a lot of videos that are probably teaching people, because there's a lot of people doing that. And that's an endless thing. Somebody's going to tell you that you should do this, tell you should do that. Endless. But what I will share quickly is early on, rule of thirds as far as a composition for photography, very popular composition. There's three things, the rule of thirds, three elements. There's three like cross marks, basically: bottom right, middle left, top right, and the opposite: bottom left, middle right, top left. Because I latched on to three things, and because I'm such a literal thinker, someone says rule of thirds, that's three. Someone says three elements, okay, there's three. So I latched onto that, and I had to put something in the three things, anything. I was actually looking for three items to put into those things. What I've since learned is when you say three things, make sure, well, what I've learned, I'm telling myself basically, what I've learned is to not put three large things or three things or two things that like one would compete with the other. So a whole new understanding and appreciation now of the rule of thirds. I'm looking now for one item in a scene. Then from that one item, are there two other items that potentially will either add to that one or will slightly pull your eye away from that primary one? So pick one thing and then try to compose it to where you have other light sources, maybe color, maybe an absence of light. Things like that, shadows, right? Elements like that will add to or take away from, like I said, distract just a little bit from that primary focus. That's what I've learned. This particular image here of the aspen trees up in Flagstaff was one that I was very excited and proud of, and I just now put it on my website. If you are interested in this photo, it's also at the end of the video. I do have limited prints available on this. I'm only printing 35 prints. I've already sold one, and so there's 34 left. They come with their own certificate of authenticity that I will date and sign and ship that with the purchase as well. But all of that helps to continue my journey in photography, so thank you very much if you're interested in that. But this seat, it has a forced perspective to where it'll drive your eye into the woods. So you're going to walk towards it. And then it has elements that are in the top third and the bottom third based upon color, because the aspen trees were so beautiful, just bright orange and reds and yellows. They will pull your eye a little bit around the scene. And then you go back into where you want to walk, which is this little area in the tree line. That's what I'm talking about. So I hope that helps. I hope I'm going to try to do that myself in future compositions. I'm going to try to look for those types of elements that will add to or take away just a little bit, but your eye's going to go back to that primary focal point. I think that makes for a little bit more interesting scene, and personally, because that's subjective and interesting, it's more balanced. And that's some of the things that I talked about in the video where I didn't quite convey correctly, where over analytical, who I am, trying to analyze what it is that we enjoy as humans. Why do I like things in thirds? And how do I have to do that so that it's balanced? Like, how do I have to present it for our brains as humans to go, oh, I like that. You know, that's part of the whole goal for me, is to try to find beautiful scenes, capture them correctly, quote unquote correctly, but capture them in such a way that they're interesting to provide it to others who will then be able to relate to me and say, oh yeah, that's interesting, that's really pretty. So I wanted to just quickly talk about that, and you'll see me struggle to try to convey that same thing in the video. But again, thanks for watching. This will probably be, like I said, one of the last ones that I'll create for this length. And this was a trip up to Flagstaff in search of fall colors, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. All right, so I think I got everything loaded up in the van. I think I'm ready to go. Let's get this show on the road. I hear a little bit of grinding on the brakes. I'm gonna have to fix that. I know we're gonna fix that. But I always get, so far in the beginning of all of this, with just the neighbors across the street, the poor workers across the street, I just can't. I couldn't feel comfortable. They're directly across the street from me, working on, I'm assuming like well, I know they're working on new flooring, and the workers are just out there doing their thing. I am in my driveway trying to pack up and go, and I have so much anxiety while they're across the street. I'm sure I could get some medication. I probably should look into some medication. But yeah, just very anxious. I just get very anxious. So gotta try to calm down. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm driving past parks right now in the East Phoenix Valley, and they're flooded. They're completely flooded. We got so much rain the last couple days, all from these hurricanes that are coming up from down south. But once I get on the road like this, I start to calm down and relax and enjoy the trip. I could have some random thoughts. And there goes my microphone muff, or I don't know, they might call it. Anyway, thinking about, I got started back in high school. I was interested in photography back in high school. We did a black and white film class, and I always really enjoyed being behind the camera, which is what makes this so difficult. It's like everything else, I understand. The more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. So I'm looking forward to those days. But I really thoroughly enjoyed that seeming barrier that the camera provided, where it's been said before by other people, where it feels as though you're an observer of reality. Somehow, some way, there's a shield that just got put up. You're not in the moment, you're not there. You're an observer outside looking at everything. I very much got that sense early on, and really thoroughly enjoyed that feeling. And then afterwards, of course, then you start to get creative in the editing process, and then maybe that would spark another level of interest in photography. And then as you're learning, you start to realize, oh, there's much more depth to this. There's what constitutes comfort almost from human beings when they look at a certain scene. If you want to talk about, say, rule of thirds or numbers of 3, it's comforting. If you put 4 things out, and my mother used to talk about this as far as decorating, if you put a grouping of 4 it could feel off. If you put a grouping of 2, it could feel off. If you put a grouping of 3, whether it's like 3 pumpkins, since we're near Halloween, or 3 corn stalks, that was acceptable. And it's just fascinating to me that human beings we're so complex, and yet there's some things that are seemingly very basic, and I don't know where they come from. But the rule of thirds in photography, when you look at a scene, you would like to see something in those 3 elements. And then progressing further to where I'm at now, I think I'm understanding how you can have those elements, but I've been trying too hard to put something of interest in those 3 points, thinking if I just did that, I would have an amazing photo and I would suddenly be successful and everybody would love me. And I made this joke with my aunt the other day that I could hire an AI secretary, and from there I would just be rich and famous as a photographer. That's not how it works. But I started to see where it's an interest, or quote unquote interesting photograph. Definitely is for me, the more I learn this, if you can draw the viewer in, if there's elements that may be in those thirds, but your focus or your subject, particularly with landscape photography, can be in the center. And then what that does is that if you put the elements on the outside, it provides a little bit of a tug, which I have always thought is interesting in photography. It's a tug on the eye, where your eyes will want to go back into the center, but they're pulled around the image. Early on, when I started to be taught and was learning myself, taught my friends and family too. I haven't had any professional training, but early on I would try way too hard to try to put something in the top third, in the middle left third, in the bottom right third, or conversely the opposite. And I would just, it's got to be that tree over there, and it has to be that lake over there, and then that's supposed to make a fantastic photo. Again, with my mindset and who I am, I want step 1, I want step 2, I want step 3 to be success. So it has to be pow, pow, pow. And when I don't get that, over the years, I very much struggled. So I've come a long way. In that big ramble there is just to show you kind of my progression in short of what I found interesting, where I started, where I'm at now, where I see it going, how I can look at a scene now and maybe put some of those elements together and pull out some of those elements, of course, maybe more so in the editing process than you could in the scene. And it just makes it for more interesting and fun photography. So that's me in a nutshell, and thank you for listening. And we're on our way to Flagstaff. And I had a nice conversation again with my aunt the other day, who said that she was really proud of my accomplishments. And it's difficult to, I had a chance to think about it, it's difficult to acknowledge accomplishments. I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of people have maybe struggle with that. You're doing so much and you're constantly striving, and it seems like for me personally, I'm always looking at somebody else and setting the bar for me to hit that bar. And so there's never a real opportunity to tell yourself like, hey, yeah, I actually have accomplished something. I have done some things. And so it's nice to hear, and it's nice for me to take a moment or two to reflect on that. And I know it's not going to be, the process is not going to be an easy thing, like I mentioned earlier, where I just wanted to take some pictures, and you think you'd be successful. It's a long process, so I get it. But it's difficult. It's difficult. The thing that I can keep taking away, I guess, to try to get beyond that, if you're in it and you're struggling, maybe like I am, and not seeing too much of a advance, do take a moment for yourself and relax and think about what you've done to get to where you're at. I'll share some stuff with you later on. Just constant failures for me, and for me myself, I'm terrible. I beat myself up terribly all the time, and for not really appreciating the process. I don't enjoy. I don't think anybody does, making mistakes. I don't enjoy looking like I don't know what I'm doing. And all that pressure, though, of that is what will destroy you in the end. You have to let that go. So take a moment, reflect on what you've already accomplished, what you have done, some of the wins that you have done, and look at where you're at. And continue to grow on that, because that's what when I was talking to my aunt, that's what she made me do. So thank you, Kathy, very much, and Buff, for your support. It's incredible, and that's pretty much life in itself, right? It's beautiful. You can get lost in details and overanalyze things like I do. I've learned that lesson. It doesn't serve you well. So, but I'll tell you more about my mistakes, social media wise, and everything else in the future. But for right now, we're still on our way to Flagstaff. All right, so we made it to a point where I can tell the difference in the air and out of Phoenix, and it's incredible. So first, you get punched in the nose with sage, and then I just wanted to check the altitude, and you can feel the cold air, of course, but then I wanted to check the altitude to see where I'm at in this place. It's off of right off the 169 on your way to Dewey Humboldt, and we are at an elevation now of 4,600 feet and climbing, and I'll show you what that looks like. We are going up. We are on our way up. And here's kind of the external view. Just gorgeous today. Just absolutely gorgeous today. All right, so we made another milestone. We're at 6,500, just about 6,500 feet in elevation. And you can definitely at that point feel another change in the coldness of the air, the crispness of the air. And let me tell you, it is so clear. Anything that has a higher elevation, the air is a little bit thinner, so it's going to be a little bit sharper, and it really does lead to some very nice, pretty scenes. I also think there's a brighter punch to contrast, of course. It just looks so clean, so crisp. So anyway, we're up here at about 6,500 feet. There's a 6,500 feet. And you can see how crisp and clear. Look at those clouds over there. I mean, I could just stare at clouds for hours. But anyway, there it is. There's where we are, and more to come. Okay, so we're basically in Flagstaff right now, and I'm gonna turn I'll show you right now. So I hope you can see it way out there, but the clouds on the horizon that are just above the treetops right now, those clouds are at the summit of Humphreys Peak, which I've mentioned before in a previous video, and incorrectly the altitude, by the way. So Humphreys Peak is 12,600 and some odd feet. For some reason I had 14,000 on the brain. I think I was talking to my brother about a mountaintop that I've been to on Hawaii. But anyway, Flagstaff is 12,600 odd feet, and right now, as we are getting closer to Flagstaff, our current elevation is it's 6,800 feet and climbing, so we're nearly 7,000 feet in the air, heading towards Humphreys Peak and Flagstaff. So absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm gonna show it to you again. I mean, I hope you can see it. You probably can't, but the mountaintop just has all those whimsical clouds up there. And again, just, someone like myself who absolutely loves clouds, like I can't wait to be in the area. I hope they settle a little bit. I'm not going to be at the summit, of course, but I hope they settle. In the morning, we should have fog, should create some absolutely incredible, moody images and scenery. So I can't wait. So, all right, more to come. Well, we're at the base of the Snow Bowl here in Flagstaff, Arizona, and we're getting ready to climb the mountain, which I've shown in a previous video. But I just wanted to stop for a second and just take some measurements because, you know, it's always fun for us geeks to take measurements. So right now we're at the, like I said, we're at the base. Elevation is 7,300 feet. You can see that there, 7,300 feet. 315 feet. And then current temperature is 73 degrees. And then we're going to take another check at that. I think it's a little bit cooler than 73 degrees, to be fair. This was on the floor, but it's close enough. So we'll get to the top here, but there are some fall colors. I can't even talk. There's some fall colors in the area. They have started. And I've seen some red trees already and some orange trees and some yellow trees, so I'm super excited. There's still low clouds in the area, and I'm again hopeful that we will see some nice fog in the morning, or even in the evening. Well, we made it. So back here in Flagstaff, and I mean it. I don't have words. I don't have words. Clouds. The puffy clouds that I love, and the colors of the trees, of course. I see all kinds of reds, yellows, and then the blue sky, because like I said before, how clear and crisp the air is, which reminds me, we are at about 60 degrees now where I'm at. We started out at like 73. We are at an elevation of... what's that say? That says 9,205 or so feet. 210 feet. So I'm at 9,000 feet, and we haven't started hiking anywhere yet. I'll probably stay around the 9,000 foot area, but oh my goodness, is it gorgeous. So I can't wait to share some of this experience with you guys. All right, more to come later on, but we made it. Yay! Time to relax, get the van set up, and then we'll get cracking at some photos. I think I start everything with rubbing my face. Okay, we made it to Flagstaff. So I said I was going to set up, and I was going to show you some of the setup, but it's irrelevant at this point. It doesn't really matter. I want to get out there and get to the light right away because it's like close to 4 o'clock. It's 3:30. And I want to start seeing the light transition. I made myself some oatmeal real quick. I just wanted something hot already. I forgot my brown sugar, but I made some hot oatmeal, and I'm going to head out now, and I can show you what's out there. But and then I'll come back and set this up later. Well, okay, this is a first for me. I love weather. I love clouds and thunderstorms and fall, of course. I just don't know if I am particularly fond of thunderstorms when I'm at, I don't know, 9,000 feet elevation. Relatively close to the lightning. Maybe this will be the last video I make. So I found this awesome, Mother Nature provides yet again. I found this awesome spot just to sit with this beautiful pine tree that's just gigantic, of course. And there's one that's the camera's attached to, and it's providing much needed shade for me right now in coverage from the rain. And I thought I started to feel just the tiniest bit of frozen rain up here, but I'm not. I think it's a little too warm for that. But depending upon the clouds and the strength of the storm, if it threw it back up to freeze and then fall. So, but gorgeous. Now the canopies. Let me show you this canopy. The canopy here looks amazing with even with the clouds. Check this out. and they were calling for, of course, high winds, which I knew it was coming after this storm, but just awesome. Anyway, seeking shelter for a little while. I think it's going to blow past, and then I can continue on. And then this is I can't even talk again. This is some of the things that you do. You put yourself out there. There's lightning in the area and thunder, but this is some of the stuff that after this blows through, I bet the lighting is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I bet the sun will pierce just below the cloud layer that came through with a storm, and you'll have this low-lying fog or clouds or very misty, steamy-looking environment, very rich in atmosphere. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. All right, this is one scene that I settled on here, and we just got some rain, and now I'm kind of waiting to see if the clouds, the sun will break through the clouds at the bottom. I want to show you what I got here set up, and you can hear the wind coming. But the view here is basically what I've got composed. Is I've got that shot there composed. It's basically going to be that tree stump that leads your eye up into the scene, and then you can see the canopy above, which will be in a portrait style, and I'm just hoping that it turns out. But I'm also second guessing. I'm curious to see, or I'm fighting the urge to run out of this scene, because if we're in the clouds, or if we're close to the clouds, there's going to be this beautiful pockets of rolling clouds around the mountains in the area, and the pine trees specifically, and so you'll have this very moody scene potentially with, I'm hoping that there would be like a pop of color from some of these aspen trees while all of that sunset's happening. But this is some of the things that happens when you're in a dynamic environment such as this one right now. There's so many things that catch your eye, and there's so many things that I think about that could be happening in the area. And again, like I've said in other videos where photography is teaching me a little bit of patience, all you can do is go to a spot, stay in a spot, and hope for the best, see if you can get what you think is going to happen, and be flexible. Like I've said in other videos, I have a telephoto. I can immediately pull that out sometimes and start shooting other things that are at distance. I like doing that. But if you don't get anything, again, it's okay. You spent the wonderful afternoon getting rained on, in this case, which I love it. I mean, better than sitting in an office, I suppose. But yeah, it's equally frustrating though if you don't get the shot and you don't have anything to show for it, and try to offer it to somebody else so that you can be proud that they hang it on their walls, and of course so you can get some sales and all that. But yeah, I mean that's part of it, right? That's living the dream, as they say. All right, so I knew it, right? I knew it. Like not more than 2 minutes after I told you guys. So there's what I'm looking at. That fog, that mist. I'm literally standing in clouds. Now, I don't know if it'll transition over here to this particular scene. It may, but it just rolled through. It just rolled through up there. It's still raining a little bit, which I just checked the radar again in anticipation to see what I need to do, if I need to get out of here or whatever. By the way, the GoPro, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the GoPro is literally pegged to a stick. And I don't know, this is a good test for my Canon R6 Mark II. I've never put it through the ringer like this before. It's literally just sitting in the rain. So you're supposed to be able to get some elements, but I don't know how, I don't know how much. So we'll see. You know, maybe I just got to spend another $3,000 to $4,000 and buy a new camera. All right, it's only been like a few more minutes after the last recording. This is where it's tough. This is where because I saw the clouds, because I saw the fog rolling through, I see some right there coming at me. So it could make this really cool. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can watch this together, maybe. I'm already set up for the shot. And it doesn't look like the clouds are cooperating at the moment. But because I saw the clouds, I just don't know. I don't think it's going to get sunny here to do what I want. I think I'm going to have more opportunities to take my telephoto out. So I see more clouds though. I see more clouds over there, right behind me. Like I'm literally in them. I just need it to come down and drop down 10 feet, maybe 20 feet, and roll right through here. Oh, I might see it. I might be happy. Of course, that could be rain. I think I see a little bit. It is raining harder, a lot harder. Yeah, this is rain. Oof! Here's the cloud. Here it comes. It's probably rain. Look at that. Look at that mood. Oh my God, look at that moodiness. Wow. Look at that. Could you see this? Can you guys see this? Look at this. Look at this. I'm just going to put you right here while I try to take some photos. Look at that. Yeah, I'm standing in the clouds right now. I'm standing in fog and clouds. Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted, but I think it's going to be pretty, so I'm excited with that. All right, let's pack this stuff up and get out of here and try something new. Dry some of this gear off, too. I can't. I don't have words for this. Look at this. That tree to the right, that curvy, windy tree to the right. I was just photographing that with the clouds in the background, the fog. I mean, I don't know where to point the camera. I don't know what to record. I can barely feel my hands. This is it. Like, this is it. I have to remind myself that this is it. I mean, sure, I would like somebody to buy art, but oh my, this is just so gorgeous. Look at that. And it's a good test for sure on my equipment. Like I said, with the backpack and the camera gear and the tripod, which is part of the camera gear. I'm cold. You know, I'm wearing jeans. My shoes are soaked. They're hiking shoes, but they're soaked. So I got to get back to the van and get warmed up. But just incredible. Just look how moody. Everything is so moody. I just... it's a good day to be here, that's for sure. It's a good day to be alive. All right, let's get back to the van so I can warm up. Probably make some hot soup for dinner. And just relish in the moment. Whew. All right, I just wanted to take the camera out, show you some of the conditions. I don't have the microphone on, but look at this. Oh man. Absolutely just stunning. Came across some hikers and everybody's super nice and just super stoked. And how could you not? I mean, I've been to quite a few places around the country, and this just looks like a scene out of something like in the Pacific Northwest or up by Maine. It's just gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God, that was so cool. That was so cool. The fog, I mean, the lightning and was at first kind of spooky, but oh my God, and I'm wet. Oh, my gear's wet. Oh my God. Oh, I'm cold. I can't wait to get a little warm, have some soup. But it looks like, what time is it? It looks like there's a little bit of, oh, it's 5:48, yeah. So there's some color happening in the sky. Probably because maybe everywhere else, the sun is under the clouds like I was kind of hoping for. But not for us. We're in it. It's starting to rain more, so I'm gonna get inside. Okay. Boy, battery's almost dead on the GoPro, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, I mean, that was, oh, love it, love it. Oh yeah, that was so pretty. That was so pretty. It's making me second guess if I should go back out because the sunset. I'll have to keep an eye. I couldn't even see any trees as soon as you walked out of that last scene that I showed.
and the last shot that I took, there were, when you walked out of the forest, you turned around, everything was gone. It was completely encapsulated in clouds and fog. So I thought I could get out and maybe turn around and shoot some stuff real close to the woods, and it'd be this really pretty eerie kind of soft light and clouds leading your eye maybe into the forest in the background. But there was nothing to see. Everything was in clouds. All right, let's relax and let's clean this van, get this van set up for dinner, and it's still raining a little bit, so let's start to relax.
Well, good morning. Last night was a little challenging as far as getting a night's sleep. We have high winds today and last night, so winds are gusting to 45 miles per hour, and the van shakes, and it just feels like there might be trees falling on me at any minute. You can hear stuff hitting the roof where I'm at. And then at 4 o'clock in the morning, after receiving broken sleep all night, I think I slept from 10 to midnight, and then from midnight I was up until I think 1, and then from 1 to 3 I might have slept, 3:30-ish. Anyway, at 4 o'clock in the morning, somebody else showed up and had their radio just blasting at 4 a.m. And so that I didn't get very good sleep on that, and it just shocks me. I was raised, if I drove into a parking lot, of course, and I saw another car there, I would just assume somebody was in it, especially a camper van. And so you try to be as quiet as you possibly could. But, this is where I think it's also gets me into trouble sometimes when I think about others. I think about others too much. Is that even a thing? So you try to be courteous of others so much that I'm not getting what I need, or I'm not accomplishing what I want to accomplish. So anyway, so I've been up since about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna make a cup of tea right here real quick. But with the winds and the weather, I don't know if this is gonna be a good day or not. I think this is gonna be one of those days in photography where weather is going to win, and I'm probably going to be in the van for the majority of the day. We are still in the clouds up here. It's still gorgeous as far as fog and low clouds. But with the high winds between 25 and 35 miles per hour, gusting to 45, that's going to make it extremely challenging to try to capture anything without having either the subject moving quite a bit or the camera or the tripod. So I don't really know what I'm going to end up looking for today. The fog again looks really nice. So if I can find something maybe in the fog, but you would always anticipate or expect a fog scene to be still, and today is the exact opposite. We are literally sitting in the clouds when the wind is whipping by at 45 miles an hour. So this is some of the things you deal with at altitude. Anyway, so I'm going to have my cup of tea and enjoy the rest of this somewhat quiet morning and wake up, and then I'll show you what it looks like outside. Oh. I think that was the vehicle that showed up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But not too many clouds right now. But it's cold, it's windy, that's for sure. Okay, so it's 9:15 in the morning, and I just got back from a morning trek. I didn't have time to set up my camera, so you guys are just going to have to take my word for it. I didn't have time to set the GoPro. I was too busy. The lighting was changing so fast between the rolling fog and the sunrise, and how the sunrise was cascading down the treetops along the mountain slope. It was just hitting the treetops. I was everywhere I was turning. It was absolutely gorgeous. I lost my little muff to the GoPro, so I'll have to try to either go back out and try to find it. I already looked once, couldn't find it, or I have to go get another one. But oh man, the shots were the lighting was so phenomenal. I can't wait to get back to the studio and share those, and by the time you see this, I'll have them processed. But just gorgeous colors, gorgeous light, cold, windy, so beautiful. So beautiful. My face is so numb right now. I'm gonna have something warm to drink, to recharge my batteries. It's only 9:15, so and then relax for a little bit. And I'm thinking the evening is going to be exactly the same. So, and then after today, it should get really cool and clear, I should say. Man, I cannot talk. I'm so cold. All right, I'm gonna get warmed up. Whew, it's cold out there. I'm not used to that. All right, welcome back. So we're back in the van, and it's Tuesday, day 2, and another fantastic afternoon, of course. It cleared up, so most of the clouds and weather and storms that were the 50-mile-an-hour winds all day and last night have blown through. So I spent the morning out shooting and got some nice things in the morning. And then basically this afternoon, I ended up crashing because I just needed to get some sleep, because I didn't get sleep the night before. And then the weather and everything else. So got a good afternoon nap, and I went back out this afternoon. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna clean this up and get ready to relax and make myself some tea and just relax, because I'm gonna go hog wild with the heating, the electric blanket, and the space heater tonight. I want to try to heat this thing up and see what I can use. The battery, the power cell that I use, the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max, surprisingly, is down to like 35% after only 2 days. So that shows me a lot. I don't think I've ever run it that hard before. Another reason why I can get solar. So once I get a solar panel up there, that'll help out a great deal. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and get to relaxing, but another gorgeous day. I didn't have time to set up a lot of stuff to take pictures of me. I failed at that, so I'm sorry, but just a lot of nice shots. I'm sure I'll work on those and get those out to you guys as fast as I can. All right, well, that's a wrap here for Flagstaff. I was up here for 3 days, 2 nights and 3 days. And my EcoFlow power cell lasted me that long. I'm down to 3%. This is the most I've ever used it. So it was a beautiful, beautiful 3 days, though. I couldn't ask for anything more.